Should you wait for a woman who rejects your date request to hit you up for a date? Hi there, men's dating coach HarryWilmington here, founder of IntrovertDatingSuccess.com. And on today's show, we're going to be answering a question from a guy who left a comment on one of my YouTube videos asking about a girl who he asked out on a date. She didn't say yes to his date request, and now he's wondering if he should fall back and wait for her to reach out to him, or if he should at some point reach back out to her for a date. If you're watching this show on YouTube, be sure to click the subscribe button and hit the little bell icon to be notified of new videos. Also, be sure to stop by my website to download my free ebook, Texting Like a Boss, as well as hitting on the tip jar tab to show your support for the show, the links for which can be found at the website as well as in the description below. So let's go ahead and get into this guy's question, because it's a situation that a lot of guys get into when they're meeting women and they're asking them out. And sometimes women will give them these answers that are like, they might say no in the moment, and you might think that it means to try later, or you might think it means to fall back and that she'll hit you up whenever she's ready. So this guy's question goes like this. He says, I'm in the process of the fallback method on a girl I feel lost attraction. For those of you that don't know what that is, the fallback method is when it's basically the no contact method, whereby you've hit a girl up a few times, you've asked her out, and she hasn't quite said yes to that request. So you decide, okay, I'm going to wait and take a wait and see position, whereby you just don't hit her up at all and you wait for her to reach out to you. So that's what this guy's doing. He says, I proposed a date and she said she couldn't make it. I told her to let me know when she was available and left it there. It's been 2 weeks and she commented emojis on my Instagram story. I just liked the comment because I wasn't trying to make convo, since the phone is for setting dates. Should I continue to fall back and wait for a direct message? All right. So before I answer this guy's question, I just want to reiterate something that I've reiterated on this show before, which is that dating, guys, is really not that hard. Okay. When women like you, they will do everything that they can to see to it that they're able to see you. And if they have a low interest, then they'll make excuses and anything that they can say to basically not meet up with you. All right. And so this is what's happening with this guy, is that he proposed a date and she said she couldn't make it. Okay. Now, nowhere in his statement did he say that she counteroffered with another date. And by the way, the whole idea of counteroffering is a idea that I got from this guy, this other dating coach named Doc Love, who sadly I just found out passed away in August. R.I.P. to him, because he was a really big name in the dating community in terms of guys that are trying to learn how to date and not just learn typical things like, be nice and get flowers and all this other stuff. And this guy was doing teachings for 20, 25 years to guys about just things to notice and observe about women that will help you better understand where their level of like for you is. He came up with the whole levels of interest thing, and being able to tell between a girl that's highly interested and a girl that has low interest. So one of the things that he would teach is this would be an example of low interest. And he would say things like counteroffer. That's another thing that I learned from his counteroffer. So for example, if you ask a girl out and she can't make it, a girl that has very high interest in you is might reject you in the moment, but offer the ability to see her later with an actual day and time. If a woman does not offer you a counter offer, she's not trying to go out with you. And I know that seems very simplistic, and you as a guy might be thinking, but wait, what about all these other abnormalities? Again, a girl that likes you is going to see to it that she's able to see you in some capacity and make time for that to happen. If you ask a girl out and she just says, oh, I can't make it, well, yeah, she might not be able to make it that particular day, but there's 7 other days out the week. There's other hours. There's other parts of the month. When can she see you? And if she's not coming back to you and saying, oh, I can see you at this day and this time instead, then what does that really say about her interest? What does that say about her desire to want to see you in a romantic setting? Quite simply, it says that she's not quite there as it pertains to you. Okay. So, and this is another thing guys do, is that they'll hear a girl say something like, oh, I can't make it. And then their first response will be like, well, what about this day? Or what about that day? But again, you're the only one proposing these dates. She's not. Okay. So with this particular girl, he said, I told her to let me know when she was available and left it there. This is another mistake that a lot of you guys make, is that you leave this kind of stuff in her hands. All right. And so there's a problem with that, because women ultimately want to be pursued. Yes, even women that are rejecting you in the moment still don't like the idea of them having to directly come to you and propose a date, okay? But again, a woman that doesn't want to date you in the first place is not going to try that regardless. Okay, a woman that's interested, again, in the moment will say, I can't do this day. What about this day? So, but when you leave it in her hands, you've basically said, I give up. I give up. And you know what? If you decide to call me whatever, and I know why we do it because we don't want to look like we're butt hurt. We don't want to look like she's hurt our feelings, and we want to, be in her good graces. So we do these things to make it seem like it's no big deal. Oh yeah, just call me whenever, this is that. But when you leave it in her hands, I can guarantee you she's not going to call. Even a girl that has like mild interest in you, okay? She's not going to take that up. And I've had girls that had full-on crushes on me and wanted to go out with me, but say they couldn't make a particular day. If I did not reach out to them later to ask them for a date, it wasn't going to happen, because women, that's not their role. Women's roles, at least early on in the dating process, is the guy asks for the date and she says either yes, she says, I can't make this, but I can make it this day, which is still a yes, or they come up with excuses that will mean no. Very rarely will a woman say to your face, I'm not interested in you, no, not going to happen. Because the few times that they've tried that in their lives, what happens is the guys that they say that to get all butthurt and be like, oh no, well, what's wrong with me? Or why can't you date me? Why am I not a good candidate? So they've learned, instead of saying no, to come up with a litany of excuses. I swear, women somewhere have a whole book of like 1,001 excuses to give guys as to why you cannot go out with them. Oh, my sister's in town. My mom's sick. I had a girl tell me one time that her uncle died and she had to go to a funeral that same weekend we had a date. Like, just these random coincidences will come out of nowhere. But as guys, we'll listen to them and believe them because we don't think that women will lie to us. Women will lie to you if they're not trying to date you. Okay. So understand that if they're not counter offering, then they're definitely A, not trying to set up a date for you, and 2, they're definitely not going to reach out to you, okay? Think about a woman's love life, okay? Women are on Facebook and on social media and in the media all the time talking about how there's no good men out there. They wish they could find a man to date. Oh, they could just fall in love or whatever like this. Do you think that if she thought you were the man for her, she wouldn't be doing everything she could to spend time with you? It's a very simple question, and it's not one a lot of guys want to face because our egos don't want to admit that girls out there sometimes just don't like us. But the reality is, if they're not counteroffering and they're not reaching out, they don't like you, okay? So understand that women are going to try to be nice to your face about things and say, oh, I can't make this thing. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so busy, et cetera, et cetera. When you hear these excuses, this means that she is not interested. Take it for what it is. Move on to the next person. So in reference to this particular guy, he said it's been 2 weeks and she commented on something. Women still are attention seeking, and women that know that you like them will still reach out occasionally to see to it that they're able to still get your attention, even if they have no intention of doing anything with that attention. So just because she liked a few things in your Instagram story or your profile or whatever, it doesn't mean that she's interested in you per se. It might just mean she's looking to see if you're still going to give her attention. But the real thing is, you got to make sure that this girl doesn't want to date you. I know that sounds weird, right? Because you're thinking right now, if you just fall back, she's going to reach out to you. This is not how this is played. So the way you play this situation is this. You ask the girl out on a date. She says, oh, I can't make it. Now, at that point, that's just one rejection. I tell you guys always, you want to try to get at least 2 rejections. That's another thing that I learned from Doc Love, is that you want to try to get 2 rejections as proof that this girl is emphatically not interested. So after that first ask, she says she couldn't make it. At that point, you don't hit her up. Like, you don't contact her to say, okay, that's cool, or whatever. You just let that text lay dead and let it sit there for like about a week. A week later, you do a second ask out. You ask her out for something else. Hey, I'm going to be going to this. Well, we're in pandemic now, so I'm going to be going to this movie. I'm going to this, to the park. I want to try a new restaurant. I want to take you with me. Are you available? At this point, if she says yes, then kudos to you. She changed her mind. You get a date with her. If she says anything other than yes, or anything other than I can't make this, but how about this day? Then that means that it is a no. And again, really where they say no, they'll just give some kind of excuse that indicates no, at which point you got to read that and understand that that excuse to not see you means she is not interested, at which point you just stop asking her out altogether. And I mean, you stop asking her out. You also stop giving her attention on her social media. You stop trying to talk with her in person. Like, she is dead at this point. Until she comes back to life by way of coming to you and saying, hey, you know what? I actually do want to take you out, or I want to go out or whatever. Then you leave that alone. and move on to someone else. I'm not one of those guys that's ever going to say to you, hey, you have a shot with every single girl, even the ones that reject you. That is not the case. The reality is that if a woman is not showing you interest, then you need to stop pestering her. Because at that point, if she says no to you twice and you're still pestering her for a date, at that point, you are now being bothersome, and that gets into harassment things, and we don't want you to be that guy, okay? So you'll have to just kind of take it to the gut, be like, oh, I wanted to date her, but I can't. Suck it up, and then move on to the next person. And I promise you, it'll be better for you. And like I said, dating is simple. There are women out there legit right now that will show you interest, that will let you know that they like you in more ways than one. So if you have one that isn't even willing to meet up with you, that's already a problem. But don't try to force the issue on women, okay? I found the less that you try to force women to go out with you on dates, the easier it is in the long term to actually make them want to see you. But you have to make it feel like their choice. So in this situation, if you're trying to, after the second ask, if you keep on asking her beyond that, now it's like you're forcing her and she's not going to like that, and you leave it alone, okay? So hopefully this helps you guys. Thank you for leaving a comment on the YouTube channel. For the rest of you guys that are watching this video, you can also write me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com for me to answer one of your questions on one of these shows. Now that you've heard from me, I'd like to hear from you. Have you ever waited for a woman to hit you up for a date? And if so, did it happen? If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to leave a comment down below or write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com. Are you ready to learn killer icebreakers that attract women on dating apps? Go to introvertdatingsuccess.com right now to watch my free video training, How to Get Attractive, Feminine, Emotionally Stable Women Dying to Respond to Your First Messages on Dating Apps Without Using Sleazy Pickup Lines, which will give you key secrets to sparking attraction and sending messages to women online the smart way. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment on this video, and catch new episodes 7 days a week right here on YouTube or wherever podcasts can be found. In the meantime, check out some of our other awesome episodes so you too can learn how to attract women using your introverted charm while still getting your alone time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Peace.